Pete Subkowiak is our guest, representing the working majority. You're going to learn about what he does, what that's all about here on this segment of our morning show Get Together. Well, how you doing, Pete?
Doing great. Thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Well, let's start out and kind of educate people, and myself included. What is the working majority? What is that all about?
Yeah. The working majority is a new interest group that we're starting in Wisconsin. And our mission is really to unite, lower income, but especially working class and middle class folks around their shared economic interests, no matter, who they are, where they live, or how they vote, or if they vote. So really trying to get people within the economic majority working together on economic issues.
Why did you think this was important initially?
Yeah. So I have, spent my entire career working on economic issues that affect and help working class and middle class folks, and I've done that to some degree of success. And what happened is in 2024, actually, I was asked to serve in the Biden administration, and did that. And it was a very, very interesting experience because I was a remote worker, and so I was working from home, but having all of these conversations and working with people in DC. And the conversations and sort of the work and thinking that was happening at work versus what me and my neighbors and friends were experiencing on the day-to-day were two completely different realities, I guess is what I'll say. And I kind of came away from that experience convinced that trying to work on policies and solutions is kind of putting the cart before the horse, because the system is really not responding to people's needs right now.
Most people don't have faith in the political system. I mean, we see the polls, we see that. I mean, on whatever side of the aisle you vote on, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's right. Yeah, it's they said that the largest voting bloc in the United States right now are people who choose not to vote. It's something like 35 or 40% of eligible voters. And that's not because they're lazy. It's because just like you said, they have not seen the system delivering them for a long time, and they've just said, "I'm done with it." And it's really unfortunate, and leads us as a country, I think, to a really, really bad place.
Well, you hear people all the time saying, "Oh, it's the lesser of two evils." That's not always real confidence boost either, is it?
Yeah, exactly. That's not going to get us to where we need to go as a country if we have constantly the lesser of two evils, and can't say with any confidence that the folks that are elected to office are really putting the needs of the economic majority first and foremost, right?
Middle class has been shrinking. I think you kind of point that out, don't you?
Yeah. It's been shrinking for the past 50 years, starting in the Nixon administration. And today we have what economists call a K-shaped economy, which is we have a lot of lower income people, and we have some people that generations ago would have been solidly middle class are now doing really well. We don't have much in between, and that's a real problem, because that means there's not a lot of mobility. There's not a lot of opportunity for folks to move ahead, right? Because there's this big gap in middle opportunities, and there's lots and lots of evidence that countries that have the extreme amount of inequality that we have turn to violence and authoritarianism as a response to that.
Wisconsin falling behind as well. Agriculture, our economy depends so much on that, and it's really been taking a hit in the last few years, hasn't it?
Yeah, and manufacturing too. Wisconsin has actually fewer manufacturing jobs today than it did before the pandemic, and it's really been lagging behind the nation when it comes to a lot of really important economic indicators, like how many jobs are available, and like union membership, So there's a lot of work to be done in the state for sure.
We've talked about the minimum wage. I mean, if there is such a thing, but even if it was doubled or maybe even
Yeah.
tripled, it's hard for somebody to pay their bills, isn't it?
Yeah, the minimum wage is a really interesting thing in that it's not actually tied to anything, right? And so it's just if Congress chooses to raise it. And so Wisconsin is actually tied with a handful of states for having the lowest minimum wage in the country. So it's $7.25 an hour, and as you point out, no one can live on that. And so there something has to be done to make sure that folks who are working their tails off are making enough money to take care of their families and get ahead. And like I said, we've been losing that for 50 years now. So it's been a big, long-standing issue, and we got to do something different to address it.
Pete Subkowiak of the Working Majority, our guest on WRCO's morning show. So we've kind of talked a little bit about the doom and gloom, Pete, here. So, so where do we
Yeah.
go from here?
Of course. So that's why we're starting the Working Majority, is because as important as policy solutions and changing laws are, the real root of the problem is that the system is broken, and the economy is broken and doesn't work for ordinary people because ordinary people have lost power within that system. And so the Working Majority is the way that we build back that power.
You are on a summer tour. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. We are going on a summer tour. It's called the What's Up Wisconsin Tour. And this week, June 10th, we're starting it out in Viroqua at Wonder State Coffee. We're partnering on this tour with Main Street Alliance, which is an organization that represents small business interests, and the Wisconsin Farmers Union, and the WISCO project, which engages young folks. So we're really trying to have a broad base of folks that we bring out from every part of the state, from every class, every race, and political persuasion, and say, here's where we're at. And I've done a lot of thinking about this, and you should at least try and hear me out. That I think we got to start working together around our economic interests if we really want to change things. And we're going to need a lot of folks to step up and build people power to force the system to change its ways and respond and prioritize working people again.
It's good to have a discussion, a calm and cool discussion, and sometimes the key is listening too, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where we start, right? This is really about listening. We're not gonna. These events are not about us telling people what to do or what they should think or what we think the solutions are. Other than that, we believe the solution is that people really got to get out of their boxes and start working together on their shared economic interests if they want to see any kind of change. And so that's what our main message is and will be at these events. They're also going to be fun. So we're going to have free food and music and socializing, and we're going to have a meat raffle too, so folks can win some nice cuts of meat coming out and meeting their neighbors. So that's the tour, and I think we've gotten a lot of responses so far. I think people are really eager not only to talk about this issue, but to connect with other folks who are feeling the same way and try and do something about it together.
I think too, it starts locally. It kind of starts in our communities to make a change, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I think that being people in person too is really important. And you see when you work on things at a more local level, you see that change and you feel that change really, really quickly. And so I think it kind of helps people understand and start to believe again that they can make a difference and they can make change if they get in the game.
Lots of elections coming up, including a governor's race here in Wisconsin as well. So, it's I guess the time is right, November, to look at some changes too, right?
That's right. Yeah, and there's a lot of choices. we are not. We're not going to be. We're not an organization at this point that's endorsing anyone or anything like that. We are definitely looking forward to hearing about all the candidates and their positions on things that matter most to ordinary Wisconsinites. I think there's, the cost of living, the cost of healthcare and healthcare access in general, data centers, and what that's doing to our energy, our land, and our economic futures. So yeah, there's a lot out there and a lot to discuss. So it is a good time to be starting this thing up.
Do you do this in other states other than Wisconsin?
Not yet. Our hope is that we do it in Wisconsin first. We figure out how to be successful in bringing people together, and we can take those learnings and expand from Wisconsin, never leaving Wisconsin, but starting to work in other states and maybe nationally once we prove that we're doing something right.
Pete, the event closest to us would be the one in Viroqua. Can you give us the hours and where you're going to be again?
You bet. Yeah, we are going to be at Wonder State Coffee in Viroqua on June 10th. We're starting at 5:30 and it goes until 7 p.m. And folks can RSVP at workingmajority.org. There's RSVPs right there on the homepage for all of our events. Like I said, they're going to be fun. They're going to be laid back. We're going to have free food and conversations, just largely a social hour, and then we'll get into sort of a group discussion just about how people are feeling about things right now and maybe why that is. And we'll end it off with a meat raffle.
No better way to do that in the state of Wisconsin, a meat raffle.
That's right.
That sounds good. And
right.
people can find more information about you as well at workingmajority.org. Is that correct?
That's right. We're at workingmajority.org. If you're looking for us on social media, we're at Working Majority. We're on Instagram and Facebook right now, and there's information on Facebook as well about our events. So just follow us along and check us out if you want to learn more about where we're at, what we're doing.
Excellent. Thanks for joining us today, Pete, and good luck with your events.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Pete Subkowiak on the summer tour, again representing the Working Majority here on WRCO's Morning Show.